Introduction. The art of understanding. Money. It's not just paper, numbers, or screens full of digits. It's energy, power, and freedom disguised in currency. Most people chase it blindly, but few ever understand it. This book isn't about quick riches or clever hacks. It's about decoding how money really works, its psychology, its flow, and its invisible rules. The art of understanding. Money will teach you how to think like wealth, not just earn it. You'll uncover why the rich play a different game, how emotions sabotage smart decisions, and how to turn financial chaos into clarity. Chapter 1. The Invisible Language of Money. Money speaks a language most people never learn to hear. It moves, flows, and reacts just like human emotion. When you understand its rhythm, it becomes your ally. When you ignore it, it quietly controls your life. The first lesson in mastering money is realizing that it's not about math, it's about mindset. The rich don't think of money as paper or digits. They see it as energy, something alive that grows when respected and disappears when neglected. Think about it. Every financial decision you make is a conversation with your future. When you spend impulsively, you're saying, "I don't trust tomorrow." When you save or invest, you're saying, "I believe in my future self." This awareness is the foundation of financial intelligence. Understanding money begins with observing your emotional relationship with it. Do you feel anxious when you talk about it? Do you avoid looking at your bank balance? Most people do because society never teaches financial literacy. It teaches consumption. We are trained to buy, not to build. Once you start treating money as a tool instead of a trophy, everything changes. You stop chasing it and start mastering it. The invisible language of money is discipline, patience, and clarity. The moment you learn to speak that language fluently, you stop working for money, and money begins working for you. Chapter 2. The Psychology of Spending. Every dollar you spend reveals your values more than your words ever could. Spending is not random, it's emotional. We buy to feel safe, admired, or validated. The secret to financial control lies in understanding why you spend, not just how much. Marketers know this. That's why they sell feelings, not products. The luxury car is not just metal and wheels, it's confidence in disguise. The new phone isn't communication, it's social approval. To break free, you must begin seeing purchases as emotional negotiations. Ask yourself before every purchase, does this serve my goals or my ego? When you separate emotional desire from practical need, you gain true power. Financially intelligent people design systems that protect them from emotional decisions. They automate savings, set strict budgets, and track where every cent goes. Not because they're stingy, but because they're strategic. When you understand your spending psychology, you don't become cheap. You become free. Because every dollar you don't waste is a brick in the wall of your financial freedom. Chapter 3. The Power of Saving with Purpose. Saving without a goal feels like punishment. Saving with purpose feels like power. The act of saving is not about deprivation, it's about preparation. When you save intentionally, you are creating options for your future self. You're saying, "I deserve peace, not panic." Most people think saving is about cutting costs. In truth, it's about building control. It's about separating yourself from the chaos of living paycheck to paycheck. Think of saving as training your financial muscles. Each small deposit builds strength. Each avoided impulse purchase adds endurance. Over time, this discipline becomes automatic, and that's when real transformation begins. The most successful savers attach emotions to their goals. They visualize the freedom of being debt-free, the pride of owning a home, or the relief of retiring early. They see saving as buying back their future time. If you treat every dollar saved as a seed, one day you'll look around and realize you've grown your own financial forest. Chapter 4. The truth about debt is not evil. It's energy borrowed from your future. Used wisely, it can accelerate growth. Used carelessly, it destroys peace of mind. Most people use debt to escape the present rather than to build the future. They borrow to consume, not to create. And that's why they stay stuck. Financially intelligent people understand the two kinds of debt, productive and destructive. Productive debt builds assets, like investing in education, property, or a business. Destructive debt builds anxiety, like buying luxury items you can't afford to impress people who don't care. The rule is simple. If your debt doesn't generate more income or long-term value, it's draining your future wealth. To escape debt, you need both strategy and psychology. Create a plan to pay off the smallest debts first. It builds momentum. And most importantly, shift your identity from a spender to a builder. Remember, being debt-free is not just a financial milestone, it's emotional liberation. It's the day you stop renting your peace to the bank. Chapter 5. Investing in yourself. First, before you invest in stocks, real estate, or business, invest in your mind. The most profitable investment you'll ever make is expanding your own knowledge, discipline, and emotional intelligence. Every rich person understands this. Money follows mastery. The more valuable your skills, the more powerful your financial potential. You don't need luck. You need leverage. And leverage begins in your brain. Read, learn, fail, adapt. Every book, every mistake, every lesson compounds like interest. When you focus on growth over greed, your financial world transforms. You stop chasing get-rich schemes and start building systems that last. Investing in yourself also means managing your habits, your time, your health, your relationships, because no amount of money can compensate for burnout, toxic energy, or a lack of direction. True wealth begins inside. Once you master your inner world, the outer world follows. Chapter 6. The myth of quick wealth. Everywhere you look, the world is screaming, "Get rich fast." Social media makes success look instant. A luxury car, a mansion, a perfect life. But here's the truth. Real wealth has nothing to do with speed. It's about sustainability. Fast money fades as fast as it arrives because it skips the foundation of wisdom. You don't get rich from luck. You get rich by deserving luck. That means learning, preparing, and building a mindset that can hold wealth, not just touch it. When you chase shortcuts, you chase illusions. When you master patience, you build empires. The richest people in the world didn't win the lottery. They learned how to play the long game. They made time their ally. True wealth grows quietly like a seed underground. You may not see results immediately, but every smart choice, every delayed gratification, every saved dollar is a silent investment in your future strength. So stop racing. The finish line isn't where the prize is. The prize is becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to run anymore. Chapter 7. Understanding financial energy. Money is a reflection of energy. What you give, what you create, and how you circulate value. When you understand this, your relationship with money becomes spiritual as much as practical. Every transaction carries emotion. You feel joy when you buy something meaningful, guilt when you overspend, and anxiety when you lose control. The goal isn't to eliminate emotion from money, it's to master it. Think of money like a mirror. It doesn't lie. If your finances are chaotic, your inner life probably is too. If your spending is impulsive, maybe your emotions are unbalanced. Once you bring awareness and peace to your mindset, your money follows. Financial calm creates financial clarity. When you feel abundant, you attract opportunities. When you feel desperate, you push them away. To master financial energy, act with intention. Spend consciously, save proudly, invest wisely. Every action tells the universe how much you believe in your worth. Chapter 8. Building financial systems that work. Wealth isn't built on willpower, it's built on systems. The human brain loves habits but hates discipline. That's why the rich don't rely on motivation, they rely on automation. Automate your savings so it happens before you can touch your money. Automate your bills so you never pay late fees. Automate your investments so your wealth grows silently in the background. A financial system is like a machine. Once it's set up, it runs without effort, but you must design it carefully. Start by tracking your income and expenses weekly. Know where every dollar goes, then assign every dollar a job: saving, investing, or spending. This removes financial guesswork and builds peace of mind. When your system is strong, your money flows with purpose. You stop chasing control, because you already have it. Chapter 9, the emotional traps of wealth. Money doesn't change people, it amplifies them. If you're insecure, it makes you more so. If you're generous, it makes you a force of good. The emotional maturity you bring into wealth determines whether it serves you or enslaves you. Many people sabotage themselves the moment they gain wealth. They spend impulsively, trust the wrong people, or overextend out of pride. They forget that money magnifies both strengths and weaknesses. The emotional traps of wealth are subtle: greed, comparison, guilt, and fear of loss. To escape them, you need awareness. Wealth should serve your peace, not disturb it. Learn to detach your self-worth from your net worth. When your identity is built on values instead of valuables, money becomes a tool, not a test. True wealth is calm, not loud. Chapter 10. Turning knowledge into financial power. Knowledge is useless until you act on it. The gap between knowing and doing is where most people lose the game. You can read every finance book, follow every guru, watch every video. But unless you implement, nothing changes. Financial growth begins the moment you take one real step. The trick is momentum. Start small. Open that savings account. Pay off one debt. Invest your first $10. Each small action builds belief, and belief compounds faster than interest. Power comes from consistency. The people who win financially aren't always the smartest. They're the ones who stick with the process long after others quit. Knowledge without action is a library collecting dust, but knowledge turned into movement? That's financial power. Alive, growing, unstoppable. Chapter 11. The balance between earning and living. Money without life is meaningless, and life without money is heavy. The art is not just in earning more, it's in knowing when enough is enough. People often chase income like it's oxygen, forgetting that time is the real currency. You can always make more money, but you can never buy back time. The richest people in the world are not those with the most wealth, but those with the freedom to choose how they spend their days. Understanding this balance changes everything. You stop working just to pay bills and start building a life worth living. You begin to spend money on experiences that nourish your soul, not just things that decorate your ego. When you stop measuring success by income alone, you start living with purpose. And that's the moment you realize money is not the goal. It's the amplifier of a life already rich with meaning. Chapter 12. The compound effect of small decisions. The world glorifies big wins, but real wealth is born from small, quiet choices repeated daily. Every coffee you skip, every small amount you save, every hour you invest in learning, all of it compounds. The power of compounding isn't magic, it's mathematics combined with discipline. Just like a seed grows into a tree, small financial habits bloom into wealth when you stay consistent. Here's the secret. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need to be perfect, just persistent. Missing one day won't ruin you, but quitting will. If you invest in yourself, your skills, and your savings just 1% more every day, your future self will live 100 times better. Wealth isn't an explosion, it's evolution. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens for those who never stop showing up. Chapter 13. The hidden cost of lifestyle inflation. As income rises, so does temptation. You get a raise, and suddenly your car, house, and clothes all need an upgrade too. That's lifestyle inflation, the silent killer of wealth. It feels logical. I earn more, so I can spend more. But that mindset traps you in the same cycle of pressure. No matter how high your salary climbs, you end up working harder, earning more, but still feeling broke. The antidote is gratitude and awareness. Instead of expanding your expenses, expand your investments. Upgrade your future, not your image. People who master money never let their lifestyle outgrow their purpose. They find happiness in progress, not possessions, because real luxury isn't buying everything you want, it's having the freedom to say no. Chapter 14. The power of financial simplicity. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, even in finance. The more complicated your financial life becomes, the more stress it invites. Financial success doesn't require 100 accounts, 10 credit cards, or exotic investments. It requires clarity, knowing where your money comes from, where it goes, and what it's doing for you. Simplify your spending, automate your savings, keep your investments understandable. If you can't explain it in one sentence, it's probably not serving you. Simplicity creates peace, and peace creates focus, the most valuable currency of all. In a world obsessed with complexity, simplicity is your competitive edge. Chapter 15. The emotional freedom of financial independence. Financial independence is not about quitting your job, it's about quitting dependence. It's the power to make choices based on values, not on survival. When you no longer live paycheck to paycheck, something magical happens. Your mind quiets down. You think more clearly. You make decisions with confidence instead of fear. This freedom is built, not gifted. It comes from years of small, consistent actions in saving, investing, learning, saying no to unnecessary things so you can say yes to your future. The emotional reward of independence is peace. Not excitement, not luxury, peace. And peace, once earned, becomes priceless. Chapter 16. Money and relationships. Money can build relationships or break them. It's one of the most emotional forces in human connection. Couples argue about it, friends borrow it, families divide over it. But at its core, money isn't the problem. Communication is. When partners or families avoid honest financial conversations, they invite resentment. Transparency turns tension into teamwork. To create healthy financial relationships, treat money as our resource, not my possession. Set shared goals, respect differences, and build trust through openness. Remember, love and money both grow on the same principle: shared responsibility. When you learn to manage both wisely, you create not just wealth, but harmony. Chapter 17. Teaching the next generation about money. The greatest gift you can give your children isn't money, it's financial wisdom. Schools rarely teach it, so it's our duty to break the cycle of ignorance. Children learn by watching, not listening. If they see you budget, save, and invest responsibly, they'll absorb those habits naturally. Teach them that money is a tool, not an identity, that it can serve dreams but should never define worth. Introduce simple lessons early: earning, saving, sharing. As they grow, guide them through bigger concepts like investing and generosity. Every lesson today saves them from financial pain tomorrow. When you teach a child to understand money, you don't just change their life, you change generations. Chapter 18. Redefining success beyond wealth. At the end of every financial journey comes a realization: Money is not the destination, it's just a vehicle. You can have millions and still feel empty if your purpose is missing. True success is measured not by what you own, but by what you contribute. Wealth without meaning becomes a cage made of gold. But wealth used for impact becomes a legacy. So ask yourself, what does success feel like? Not just what it looks like. Maybe it's time, peace, freedom, or helping others rise. The art of understanding money ends here, not with greed, but with gratitude. When you use money as a force for growth, yours and others, that's when you truly master it. Chapter 19. Money with meaning, philanthropy, impact, and the currency of contribution. Wealth without purpose can feel hollow. The richest accounts in the world can't buy the quiet satisfaction of knowing your life made a positive difference. This chapter explores the deliberate choice to move money toward meaning and the practical ways that thoughtful giving, impact investing, and social contribution transform both communities and the giver. When you orient money to a larger purpose, you convert cold numbers into warm influence. Philanthropy is not a single act of generosity. It is a discipline that requires as much design as any investment portfolio. Effective giving starts with clarity about values. Identify the causes that align with your deeper priorities: education, public health, the environment, arts, or community resilience. When your giving is tethered to your values, it becomes sustainable rather than seasonal or performative. Give in a way that multiplies impact. Fund programs that measure outcomes, support organizations that leverage community assets, and favor initiatives that build capacity instead of dependency. Impact investing is the bridge between profit and purpose. Chapter 20. Stewardship. Systems, governance, rituals, and the practice of sustained wealth. Wealth without structure is fragile. Accidents, family friction, tax changes, and poor decisions can erode decades of work. Stewardship is the practice of creating systems that sustain wealth across time while preserving the values that inspired the wealth in the first place. This chapter lays out the governance, rituals, and habits that convert transient savings into enduring resources. Begin with governance. Clear structures reduce chaos and protect relationships. For families, create documented agreements that specify decision-making roles, distribution guidelines, and conflict resolution processes. Consider a family charter or council that meets regularly to review finances, set goals, and educate younger members. Governance isn't about control, it's about clarity. When expectations are explicit, trust can flourish in predictable containers. Legal and financial infrastructure are essential. Wills, trusts, powers of attorney, and health directives translate intentions into enforceable plans. A well-crafted estate plan minimizes tax friction, accelerates smooth transitions, and prevents unnecessary legal battles. Trusts can protect assets, guide distributions, and support philanthropic aims. Professionals, attorneys, accountants, and financial planners provide expertise, but governance keeps their work integrated with family values and long-term objectives. Rituals matter more than you think. Rituals are the small, recurring practices that encode priorities into daily life. Monthly financial reviews, annual strategy retreats, charitable giving ceremonies, and shared learning sessions are rituals that align behavior with values.